Coach, let me ask you a little bit about just the transition last year and then putting all the new system in and getting everybody used to what you want to do, and now coming into this year. How much easier has it been?
It was a lot easier last year with being year two. And guys just know what to expect, how things were going to go, and all that kind of thing. Even more so this year with carryover and now having a group that's been here 3 years. The senior group now, they're really good leaders. They're helping the freshmen out a ton these first 2 weeks and getting them caught up. Those guys aren't as far, they're not as shell-shocked as the freshmen were 2 years ago because they've been under the system now for 2 years. So it's definitely helped us get off to a little bit quicker start this year than what we have in the past, which is a good thing.
A lot of times I kind of discount that first year for the simple reason is that you're trying to get in here and get everything put together, and sometimes that's a very tough thing to do.
Oh, it's a tough thing, both coaching-wise, but also on the kids. They always feel a lot of pressure anyways. 14, 15, 16-year-old kids want to do well. And then they've got a massive overhaul of something that they've got to figure out, stay bought into, positive, all that. It's all a lot easier said than done. But luckily we have a great group of kids, hard workers. They ask questions, and they come ready to work and want to get better every day. So that makes life a lot easier.
It sounds like to me, and when you use the word chemistry, that's such a huge part of it that everybody gets along. Nobody cares about who gets the credit as long as the result is a win.
Right, and I think that's what's helped us finish these last 2 years kind of on a stronger note, is that guys are in it together for each other. And that's the thing they've got to realize, like you're part of something that's bigger than yourself. That's something that we talk about a lot, and that can mean any number of different things. And luckily our group that's returning seniors have, shown good examples of that and then are passing the torch to that to the underclassmen.
Do you ever feel like before you get ready for the first game that you have enough time to get ready for the first game?
Let's see. I'm on your round 3 of that, and I'm going to say no. There's so much you have to cover. Some of it just barely gets touched, and by that I mean maybe 2 days. And you just build from there. A lot of stuff happens in game. I'll burn a timeout earlier in the year to cover something that I wouldn't, later in the year that you have time to work on at that point. But definitely a lot to get in. So it helps, now that they're more familiar with things and we can cover things a little bit faster. But still, you can't just move on. You've got to still make sure the foundation is there. So,
Coach, do you have now that you kind of set a higher standard, I would imagine that there is a certain expectation now, not only out of you, but out of this team, that you've turned the tide a little bit and now you're winning basketball games. Does this team, do you at least get a feeling this early in the season they kind of cherish that right now?
Yes, they do. And it starts first with, them showing that in the classroom. We've made tremendous strides in that over these last 2 years, and that's kudos to them because that's completely on. They have to do that. We can help hold them accountable, but they have to be the ones doing the work. And they're really putting the effort there. And if we're hitting it home there, it's going to carry over to other aspects as far as basketball and life in general for them, and that's what we're really after. So,
from a makeup standpoint, talk a little bit about your team. What are your strengths right now, and maybe a couple of the areas that you really need to improve on as you get into the season?
We've got a good core group returning, 3 seniors, Michael Brewer, Justin Dupree, and Cody Witham, who've logged tons and tons of minutes that are going to be really good for us. Dante Torres is a junior. He's been playing since day one of his freshman year at the varsity level, so he'll be part of that good core group. Our young kids don't have a ton of varsity experience right now, but they're going to be able to help. A couple of them can shoot the ball, so hopefully that will help. We will be smaller this year than what we've been in the last 2 years, but we'll also be a little bit more athletic and a little bit quicker. So there's pros and cons to that. I think we can possibly speed some people up, but we're also going to have to shore up the defensive end, and especially rebounding with not having a 6'4" and 6'5" kids down there helping clean things up at the end of the possessions.
At least from now, it appears the Tri-Eastern Conference might be as balanced as it has been. There aren't really any heavy favorites. Do you kind of look at the conference this year that way?
There will be some big-time dogfights this year in the TEC. A lot of people are fighting, and right, Northeastern's still on top. That's where they're at until somebody knocks them off. But Hagerstown's got a lot coming back. Jalen Oliver's an outstanding player. Union County's probably going to go immediately 8 deep, I think, if I'm thinking right off the top of my head. We feel very confident in the group we have coming back. Northeastern, everybody says they lost Tyler, but they've got a good core returning as well. Winchester's going to be improved this year. Lincoln's got the good Pumphrey in the middle, so there will be some good battles, which is good because that's what Indiana basketball is about.
Talk about your opener, and do you have a certain amount of expectations in that first game, or do you kind of play it by ear?
We're going to have to show up ready to compete. Eastern Hancock's got their 5 starters back. Addison True's a very good guard. Has been playing for starting 4 years now. Bryson Napier's good. AJ Muigi's an outstanding player. Those are going to be 3 really good guards we're going to have our hands full with. And then they've got a couple other pieces that are no slouches. So I'm looking for them to have a really good year. I'm happy that we get to play them at the beginning of the year as opposed to, when they're maybe a different team in January. So, but we're going to have to show up ready to go. I think we can play a pretty fast-paced game with each other, and we'll be able to get after each other a little bit. But we had a heck of a battle here last year. Took a really strong second half from us to come out on top, and we were fortunate for that. We'll have to be really strong for 32 minutes to compete with them this year.